Fam, what's up? Good morning. Hope you're having a good Sunday. Kyle Henderson, Bama football on YouTube. How about Alabama basketball? Let everybody get checked in inside the comment box. Let me know where you're watching from. Today is an open show. There's a lot of sports to go over. We'll open with basketball. We'll talk Alabama football. We'll talk Bama in the NFL. It'll be a Sunday family type show. So get in the comment box. I appreciate you guys being here. The basketball game yesterday, my goodness. I mean, to be able to sit back and watch what Alabama basketball did to Kentucky at Rupp Arena was very impressive. I mean, that's an incredible venue. You think when you think tough venues to play at, right? You talk like Duke, North Carolina, Kentucky's up there. And for Alabama to be able to go up there and win 102-97. I was listening to Nate Oats after the game. He said that, look, when you have that fiery spirit, you want to be able to go on the road and play like that. And I think that was a good bounce back game following the game against Ole Miss. Look, the SEC is crazy good, as you know. I mean, Vanderbilt just beat Tennessee, right? By the way, Alabama plays Vanderbilt next. But when you're looking at Alabama basketball, I mean, look, obviously we know Mark Sears makes things go, right? He's the guy. And thank goodness he came back. But when Grant Nelson is on, and like he was yesterday, and when he's on, and so is Mark Sears, this is probably the best basketball team in the country. All right. That combination of those two, tops. All right. And then you have the bench. And I know they're a little bit banged up, but like a guy like Mo Diabate, my goodness. Stellar victory. I mean, absolutely over the top. Absolutely thrilled for Alabama basketball to be at that place. Job's not done. It's not finished. You didn't win anything from that game. But I think when people think about Alabama basketball right now, number one, they think about Nate Oats. And they think about Alabama's roster and how deep it is. Yesterday, Nelson had 25 points. He was 9 of 10 from the free throw line. In fact, Alabama shot 85% from the charity stripe, right? He also had 11 boards. Sears had 24 points, 8 and 9 from the charity stripe. Alabama now 15-3, 4-1 in SEC play. I bring up Mo Diabate. I'm one of these guys who likes kind of the unsung heroes, right? And I see a lot of people talking about LeBaron Fallon too. There's a lot of guys that clearly step up. JTL, what's up, man? This is it's Sunday morning, Jan 19th. I already went and I did all my chores. For me, like, I don't have chill. Like, I wish I could like lay in bed. And for those of you that are able to like relax and like chill, props to you. But like for me, I wake up, clean up, shower, out the door. I already went to Home Depot. I already went. I repotted plants. I made breakfast for the kids. I was like, damn, I love to work. So I talked to my mom for a while this morning, and I'm just feeling good. So I was like, you know what? We got the NFL games, but I was like, I'll jump on Sunday. So here we are. Oh, and by the way, stay warm. Outside here in Tuscaloosa, it is freezing. I have right now, it says 36. It feels way colder than 36. Now, this is live, Daniel. What's up, man? All right. So I wanted to open up talking about Alabama basketball, and rightfully so, just because when you look to Alabama basketball, who is now 3 and 4-1 in conference play, this team that we already know, they're serious contenders. They're number 4 in the country. I have no idea what they're going to be ranked when the next rankings drop. I don't really care about rankings at this point in time, but it's like, how do you play on the road? How do you bounce back when you got punched in the mouth? Because I feel that Ole Miss did a really good. Now that's a really quality team. They didn't turn the ball over. They controlled the tempo of that game. Whereas I think Kentucky tried to go back and forth with Alabama, kind of like a street fight, right? Kind of reminded me almost of that North Carolina game last year in the tournament, where you just had like 2 heavyweight teams going back and forth. I thought that the game was going to be like 160 to 150 or whatever. Nate Oats after the game said he likes to go. He gave Kentucky and Kentucky fans their due. He was like, look, this place loves basketball. Basketball fans were leaving, before the game was over. Alabama basketball is what we thought they would be. And I still don't think that they've hit their absolute climax of a team, which is good. Um, who knows what they can do going forward, but damn, it's so it. And the thing that I appreciate most is the style of play, right? It's entertaining to watch. It's fun to watch Nate Oats coach his team. Number one, it's a very up-tempo style of play. The bench is deep. The young guys come in, up-tempo basketball. Last night they were shooting well from outside too. They really haven't shot the 3-point like I thought they would shoot, but last night they were hitting pretty much everything. So Alabama basketball now will take on Vandy. Vandy's also 15-3. You got LSU, Mississippi State, and Georgia, and then the big one, in February, Auburn on February 15th. I wanted to also get like some feedback today. What you guys want to talk about in terms of like throwing stuff up on the board? I figured like at some point we'll talk if Alabama football will be better this coming season. We can talk about that pretty much every single day. But other topics that I was thinking about, like things that I saw. Are you guys like, who's a TikTok person? Is anybody a This show will be kind of open too, so no stress. I always want my shows to be like zero stress related. So I never really fell into like the TikTok world. Are you guys surviving if you're like having like TikTok withdrawals? I didn't look TikTok. I felt like I definitely had a TikTok account, and I do have a Bama football TikTok account, and I'd upload to it periodically. I just was like, I didn't really say. I felt like the more scrolling, I was like, what am I doing here? But I do feel that TikTok will be put back into place once President Trump takes over. It seems like that's kind of the way that we're going. He'll sign like some 90-day appeal or whatever. So I don't really worry about that. But I know people care about TikTok. So, and I think a lot of people honestly make a living off TikTok, clearly, just like they do on YouTube, me. So whatever. I think that stuff will handle itself. I also saw that I'm kind of moving to NFL right now. There was an analyst, a CBS analyst, who was talking. Chris Trapasso said that Jalen Milroe would go second to the Browns. Did you see this? I don't know. The more and more that I've been following mock drafts, the less and less I've been seeing not only Milroe but Alabama players in general. I mean, the only player that I've really been seeing like late in the round is Tyler Booker, but this guy from CBS has Milroe going second to the Browns. Browns need a quarterback clearly, which is crazy because they have Deshaun Watson, but he's going to be hurt, right? So they need another quarterback to come back. I think they only have Dorian Thompson. Well, they had Jameson Winston, and actually he didn't do terrible, but I don't know. I have no idea where Jalen Milroe goes. He will go. I don't think he goes round one, but I don't know. Yeah, the NFL sometimes, like I never understand some of like the thought process sometimes. Like last year with the Falcons, like drafted Michael Penix when they already had a quarterback. It didn't make sense to me. I've also been seeing in the headlines too, and I'm sure you've been seeing this. I did watch these. I did read the articles. You have the national championship coming up, right? On it's tomorrow night, right? Notre Dame taking on Ohio State. So you have reporters that cover Alabama football who went to Atlanta, short drive, right? 3 hours. And they interviewed Caleb Downs, Seth McLaughlin, and Julian Sain. Those players playing in the national championship game, Caleb Downs is the guy. We knew that was going to hurt when he left, but I don't really follow those guys once they leave Alabama football. I do from like a general college football perspective, and I do like his game. I would never like hate on the kid and be like, if he's not, wearing crimson, I don't care. Like the guy's, he could have been a first round pick from what I heard after his freshman season. But anyways, he kind of, the way that Caleb Downs explained it, the reporter asked him kind of about why he transferred to Ohio State. Well, number one, he's never going to clearly say like, yo, I got absolutely the bag. But what he said is he gave Alabama, 6-7 days to kind of like get to know the new coaching staff. Because it did seem like he gave, he was in the transfer portal and then he was out of the transfer portal. Whatever. I mean, he left. Guys are going to continue to leave. And that's how it's going to be. We're going to get a little bit more callous to this. It's not going to bother us as much. I mean, Seth McLaughlin, that's That was kind of the bigger thing that stood out to me, because I'm not surprised that Caleb Downs played the way he did. But like Seth McLaughlin, my goodness, that dude he had such a terrible season here. And then the next year, he said he found his confidence with Ohio State. You can transition after a year, improve. But damn, this dude won like the Offensive Lineman of the Year award. Like, what the hell was happening over here? That kind of made me mad. Because Caleb Downs went out and he did his thing. But like Seth going over there, he won the award. Now, what I did like was that he smoked a cigar after they beat Tennessee. He said that he's an Alabama guy. I thought that was cool. I thought that was funny. And then Julian saying, I mean, does anybody look, you look at the quarterbacks that have left, right? All of them have left. Besides Ty Simpson. Dylan Lonergan left. Help me out. Eli Holston, Julian Sain, Jalen Milroe, right? Is that 4 quarterbacks? But Ty's still here. So they're asked, like, Julian saying, was there anyone like completely sold on Julian saying that he was going to be like the guy? We're always hyping up our guys. I don't think the hype was as big as who we have now, Keelan Russell, right? But I think what hurt in that regard is we saw the kid practice during the Rose Bowl. I kind of feel like he was too small as well. I don't know. Hey, Mbakwe, college football, what's up? Are we targeting Jonathan Cook? I haven't seen that. Someone mentioned it on the website. I'm sure people would love to see, different guys come in and, top tier players like Cook get a look, but I haven't seen that. I don't know. Julian saying, will he be the quarterback next year at Ohio State? I don't know. I'm going to say no. I think like ESPN is predicting him to be the quarterback, but I don't think he will be. Also wanted to talk about who watched these NFL games yesterday? Did you watch Washington and Detroit? That game was crazy. I think the total for that game was only supposed to be like 55 total points. And also had the Chiefs and the Texans. I love DeMeco Ryans, man. But, they made some plays in that game. The team made some plays in that game that just special teams plays, right? I mean, the first play of the game was nearly a return for a touchdown. I'll tell you what, look, Will Anderson, as good as he is, look, Patty Mahomes, like he doesn't look like the guy, right? But the guy is like the guy. The touchdown that he threw, like falling down, you see this? And then, that Washington, man, Jaden Daniels is wonderful. I didn't think that he would be this good. And the crazy thing is, a lot of people compare Keelan Russell, his playing style, to Jaden Daniels. Okay, huge comparison. And the kid's got to grow up. He's got to play here spring football first. But I don't think that's a far out assessment. I think what stands out to me, and number one, what stands out to me watching these games yesterday is the offensive line protection. It's incredible. The other thing is, damn, quarterbacks can do whatever they want. And like the 2 guys from Houston that ran into each other, how the hell was that a penalty? Man, that was stupid. Jaden Daniels, I don't know if he's the best, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL clearly already. That team's good. And Brian Robinson had himself a nice game. I'm more of a fan. I love B-Rob, and I love the fact that he's at Hillcrest. I talk about that all the time. Kind of a low-key guy. So is Gibbs. But the thing, I like Gibbs more. Like, I'm not talking personality-wise. I don't even know the guys. In terms of playing style, Jahmyr Gibbs, holy shit. Like, this guy is unbelievable. He is so fast. He might be the fastest running back in the NFL. And I still feel, what would be cool is if we did. Let me ask you this. I was thinking about this. Who's the best transfer to ever come to Alabama since this whole transfer portal has started? Is it Gibbs? JMO probably be up there. Landon Dickerson. I'd have to go through the whole list. I don't have them all off the top of my head. JMO, I don't know. I'm thinking Gibbs, because Gibbs had a really nice season. JMO was amazing as well. Gotta be Coker. What's up, AJ? So a lot of people saying JMO. Mm. And it's just me on the show today. It's not T. I rolled up. I went to Home Depot and then I came back and I stopped at Starbucks. I got my daughter a Starbucks and I got T a Starbucks. And I was like, yo, T, I was like, you want to come over for the show? She was like, hell no, I'm chilling. It's Sunday. I get it. So usually if you follow the show, I'm live Monday through Friday. And then sometimes I just pop on. So I felt this was a good time right before we have our next NFL games. You got the Rams and the Eagles taking place at 2 p.m. and you have the Ravens taking on the Bills at 5:30, which could low key be the Super Bowl. Like the Ravens and the Bills. Yo, if I had a vote for NFL MVP, it'd 100% be Derrick Henry. Rookie of the year would be Jaden Daniels for sure. But like, I mean, as much as I love what Gibbs is doing, it's kind of been like a two platoon back for the most part of the season, right? David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs. Yo, Derrick Henry. Oh my goodness. Daniel, that's what I'm talking about. Is Jahmyr Gibbs is so twitchy. He's so fast. It's like he already has 8 yards. And Bakwe, you're starting some stuff inside the comment box saying that Horton is better than hell. I would probably say that's, I guess, that's interesting because we don't really have a lot of data points to look at Jalen Hell, right? We saw him come in as a freshman year, made some really good plays against Ole Miss, and then he got injured. Isaiah Horton had a hell of a year for Miami. And I talked to people at Miami, they were really upset that Isaiah Horton was leaving Miami. Not so much that he was coming to Alabama, but the fact that he was leaving. Oh, I think they were hurt for sure. Daniel Adams excited about Latsier Brooks. I'm rocking Devontae Smith today. He only needs 3. Is this accurate? He only needs, is it 3 or 6 yards to be the all-time leading receiver, like in terms of yards for the Eagles? He'll get that up in the first play of the game from Jalen. 6 yards. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yo, Slim Reaper is my all-time favorite football player here at Alabama. Didn't really say a lot. Didn't really need to. Came back when he didn't have to. Because he could have left like after his junior year, right? There was all those wide receivers with him. Came back and absolutely dominated. That guy was, when you talk about Ryan Williams and like comparisons to like who he could be, I mean, personality wise, he couldn't be further opposite of Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith would never have a podcast. The guy, you could barely get 2 words out of him. Ryan Williams is more of like, theatrical, great personality. But the playing style, that's interesting. I don't know. Ryan Williams is, because Devontae Smith made absolute plays. The best catch yesterday, maybe the whole season, was that touchdown by Sam Laporta. But Smitty was, man, he like had that like Mamba mentality. He has it still. I don't know who Ryan Williams is comparable to. Like when you talk receivers, I don't know. There's a lot of guys that he, has parts of. And the thing that separates Ryan is the fact that this guy, like some of what he did this past season in terms of like his innate playing ability and having like peripheral vision, I don't know. It's crazy. Pat O'Barr saying TikTok's back. We talked about that earlier. And just wait till Ryan had a lot of targets this past year, 100%, right? But imagine if he's targeted more, put in a better situation, because we all know that as Jalen Milroe regressed, he wasn't as accurate as he was during the earlier part of the season. So that affected, some of the stuff with Ryan. However, I saw Ryan drop a couple passes too. Guy's human. Carl Moore, what's up, man? No, Carl. So we used to have a camera with T on it. And we've had her on the show before. But since I do the show so early, like T is literally, she's a genius, like 100%, like literally a genius. But she's not a morning person. I am the morning person. So I can like get up, do the show. She's like she operates better in the afternoon. So so when we get her on the show, it's great because she's awesome to have. What's up, Kimberly? No, like this is literally just like an open Sunday show. What I wanted to have you guys do too, as we kind of like move on, we talked Alabama basketball. If you missed it at the beginning of the show, we talked a little bit of NFL. But put a topic inside the comment box and we'll run through it. I'll run through a couple of them as we kick it here. I don't know if Slim Reaper ever, it didn't seem like any of those wide receivers dropped a pass. There was I'm serious. That was the biggest thing. Like I didn't see that many drops in 2024, but I felt there was a lot of dropped passes and I think it was 2023. I can't remember. I have to go through and like look at like the stats, but it seemed like one of those years there was like a ton of drop passes. There wasn't a lot of drop passes when the rideouts were here. I don't know if these guys are rideouts anymore or whatever, or if they even still call those guys rideouts. Robert, what's up, man? Coming to us from Ohio. By the way, who wins this game? And we'll have our Monday show tomorrow. But who are you rolling with right now? Ohio State, Notre Dame, and what's the line on this game? I haven't even seen the updated line. Let me see. Notre Dame, Ohio State, ESPN. Notre Dame. I would imagine it's like 6.5 or something like that. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Someone drop it inside the comment box. Kimberly has it Ohio State by 30. Is it really? Oh, it's 8.5. All right. Chris has 11.5. I was like, damn, 11.5. Because I think last night Washington was like, or Detroit was like a 9.5 point favorite to beat the Commanders. I still get I didn't grow up saying Commanders. That's I grew up with the Redskins. But there was a time where the Commanders or Washington, they were drafting Alabama guy after they were like the first team since I was covering, Alabama to really start drafting a bunch of Alabama players. I think Baltimore was doing it too for a little while. Man, but today, I'll of course be watching, the NFL games. I like Jalen Hurts. I like, Dickerson. I mean, Dickerson was one of my favorite players. And then, of course, Devontae Smith. And then the Ravens, Bills. I mean, if the Ravens don't win a Super Bowl this year, they're never going to win a Super Bowl. They won't, right? Not under John Harbaugh. Like, they have all of the pieces. They won't. Derrick Henry will still have another great year next year. But like come on, at some point, this has to stop just because, Father Time. All right. Open mic time. You guys post a topic inside the comment box and we'll go over it. We'll chat for a while. I'll be here, so no stress. Post a topic. If you want your topic to be spoken about, it could be anything. Put a star by it. Like star, so I know it's a topic, and then we'll add it to the board. I'm here just chilling. I already did all my chores, and I washed. Literally cleaned the house yesterday, so I knew like I wanted my Sunday to be even more open. Yo, all right. Daniel Adams wants. Do you want me to talk about you? Okay. Daniel Adams has been here, for a couple months now. His name always makes me think of like a presidential name. He's a fan funder. That's why he's highlighted in green. So put your star and then what you want the topic to be, and then we'll talk about it. 1.5. I don't want to talk about that, man. I've told this story before. I used to live in DC and I lived right behind the Capitol building. So I worked in the Longworth building. So if you lived in DC and you've like been around Capitol Hill, you know that every single building in DC has a complete underground like world. That's where like you can get your shirts cleaned. You can get like the barbers are on the ground floor in the underground. So man, I've definitely been all around. It's crazy to me that I was able to go in all those places in DC. I loved it, man. I'll be watching the inauguration tomorrow. I'll be watching. I mean, tomorrow will be a crazy day. Inauguration, Martin Luther King Day. So tomorrow will be our workout in like 5-degree weather. And then you have the college football championship game. Ravens versus Bills. Look, I think that as much as I want to see the Ravens win, I don't feel that somehow, but I don't know. I'm picking the Ravens, but the Bills, it seems like it's the Bills and the Chiefs all the time. Look, Josh Allen, the hell of a quarterback. That dude's a baller. Herman is talking about Nick Sheridan. Here we go. That's a good topic. Nick Sheridan has to go. The most polarizing thing when you talk about Nick Sheridan is like he was handcuffed to Jalen Milroe, right? Therefore, he was calling plays for what he felt Jalen Milroe could do with Alabama's offense. Puts him in a hell of a tough spot. This guy has been seen everywhere with Kalen DeBoer. Kalen DeBoer seems like he's a very loyal type guy. Loyalty is good. But, is this all on Nick Sheridan? Well, yeah, that when you have the offensive, if anyone should be mad at anybody, Nick Sheridan should be mad at Kalen DeBoer, if you really want to know the truth, because he was basically handcuffed to play Jalen Milroe. And he had to design plays and the offense around Jalen Milroe. And if Jalen Milroe made a bad decision, it was on Sheridan. With that said, Sheridan's play calling, it sucked. So not only was he handcuffed to Milroe, Sheridan's play calling also, I didn't feel was that creative. And I agree, he was completely 100% gifted this offensive coordinator job. He was the tight ends coach. He was coming here to coach tight ends. And when you're like handed over the keys to like a Lamborghini or a Bugatti or whatever you want to call Alabama's offense, you got to be able to drive it, man. I don't think he did that. Sean, what's up, man? Can't wait to see what the running backs do without ball hugging quarterback. That's another thing too. Alabama football, their running backs, number one, they never, if they ran the football, it was Jalen Milroe. The stats speak for itself. He had the most attempts on the team, but they never really like pounded the ball. I guess you could say against Auburn, that's when Jam had 28 carries. But besides that, you know what I'm saying? They never really wanted to like impose its will by running the football down your throat. And everything inside the red zone it was predicated on Jalen Milroe's running ability, right? What's the word on Grub, Scott? What's up, man? Nothing. I don't think that, unfortunately, I just don't think that that's going to happen. Let me ask you, do you think something will happen with Grubb this year? Like after spring or going this season? Let's put it this way. Not even the offensive coordinator. Do you think that Ryan Grubb will be a part of Alabama's staff in 2025? I'm going to say no. Type Y for yes, N for no. I don't think so. I hate chasing this too. Watch, I'm going to say like, I don't want to talk about it. And then I'm going to talk about it like tonight. Don, 100%, man. And look, this is the other thing. I always like to look at things from two sides, okay? While I like the running backs on the roster, we didn't get an opportunity to really see those guys dominate. On the other side of the coin, let me mention who's in the NFL right now dominating within like the top 15 in terms of yards, attempts, okay? Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Najee Harris, Jahmyr Gibbs, and there's one other running back from Alabama football that I'm forgetting. Does Alabama have those same type of running backs on its roster? I know that might be uncomfortable to talk about, but do they? I kind of feel I feel that they do, but I feel that they're not being utilized to the best of their ability. But those running backs that I just mentioned, yo, this used to be running back you, right? That's the other thing that I understand. Like Alabama recently tweeted out that they were like DBU. Like, I don't know if I tweet out a graphic like that if I'm not sending somebody to the first round. You see what I'm saying? Like, I love Mo Lindquist probably than more of the any other analyst, whoever talks about Alabama football. But yo, you didn't send anybody to the first round. Like, send guys to the first round multiple years and then have a graphic like that. And Bakwe, you know who was a beast on that game? Jam was crazy on the game, but Richard Young. If you played NCAA football, yo, he was a beast. Yeah, Brock, I get that, but like, and I don't want to say anything bad about like Mo Lindquist. I don't think there's anything bad to say about him, but none of those guys are like his have anything to do with him, right? Uh, Panama Jack saying Florida State is DBU. Christopher Woodson, man, we should be a lot better this coming year. And I think, yeah, and I think like that's kind of like the storyline going in is you're either going to be better or worse. You you have to think that they're going to be better just because they have a different quarterback. Then you get back to the same topic as you're like, well, if Ty Simpson wasn't better than Milroe, then we don't know that. We have no idea. We really, honestly, we have no idea how good Ty Simpson's going to be. We don't. We have no idea how good Keelan Russell's going to be. Are we excited about those guys? Yeah. And I hate that we don't talk about Austin Mack. Does anyone out there think that Austin Mack has like a slight chance to be the quarterback, or is he just like a reserve piece? It's going to be hard to win 10 games next year. The schedule's hard. No on Austin Mack. Someone said that I mean we have no idea how much these guys are paying, but someone said that he was already making like almost $1 million. I don't know if that's true. We don't know anything how much any of these guys are paying. And then you're like, well, should we be knowing how much these guys are paying? I don't know. I think it would help set like a market cap for these guys. Panama Jack inside again saying Alabama gets to be the first team we host for our brand new renovated stadium. So there's some renovations taking off in Florida State. That's what's up. I went there one time. A couple times I've been down to Tallahassee. I liked it. It was a nice city. Alabama versus Florida State is going to definitely be. I mean, that's circled on everybody's calendar, right? I mean, I remember when my very first year covering the team, I went and watched these two teams play in Atlanta. You remember this? I think DeAndre Francois was the quarterback, and Jimbo was still the head coach at the time. Man, in Alabama, it just like they reset Florida State's program back to like the Stone Age. It was crazy. Like the trajectory after Florida State lost to Alabama, they just like completely fell off the rails. And they had that one good season in 2023, but last year, I don't think anybody knew what would happen to Florida State, right? And Mike Norvell. And we still have no idea if Alabama really targeted Mike Norvell to be a head football coach or not. I don't know. Remember when Alabama had a head coaching vacancy, every single coach got a pay raise. I know that. Remember they were all tweeting out stuff like smoke coming from a train. Steve Sarkisian, I think, just got another raise extension. But I think Florida State came out with a tweet saying that they kept Norvell. Oregon did the same thing. Texas did the same thing. And then it eventually was Coach Kalen DeBoer. Man, I hope that they're better this year. And you have to be an optimist and hope that things go better for this football program. I think, I mean, there's analysts out there. I haven't said this, but if he doesn't make the playoffs or he has another unsuccessful year, that he could be on the hot seat. I think Feinbaum says that. But let's face it, and this might make you uncomfortable too, but this was not a successful season. It wasn't. And if you think it was, you need to recheck your standards. 4 games, yo, that's not it. That is never it. 3 games is not it. 3 games is like terrible. That's 4 games. 3 of them to unranked teams. The thing that saved Kalen DeBoer was the fact that it's his first year. That's it. And other coaches have struggled in their first year. That's the only thing that saved him. But other than that, I mean, 4 games. I mean, this coming season, you could lose 4 games again. The schedule's tough. On the road at Georgia, hard. On the road at South Carolina, difficult. On the road at Auburn, challenging. Kenyatta, what's up, man? Williams, what's up? I don't know. I think eventually, like down the road, as much as Lane Kiffin talks about Alabama, it seems to me, I don't know, everything, maybe it's because my algorithm on X is so tied to like Alabama football. All I see is Lane Kiffin. It seems to me that he tweets more about Alabama football than he does Ole Miss football. So I think in the future, Lane will eventually be the football coach at Alabama. When will that be? I have no idea. I think that'll happen. It seems like that is one of Lane's biggest, goals. Am I wrong? Does it seem like that's? I'm not hating on it. It just seems to me like every single thing that he does is Alabama football related. It's even seemed to me like he's even taken on mannerisms of Coach Saban when he's speaking at the podium. Right? Every single thing he does is like roll tide roll at Alabama football. It seems like that to me. So I think, and look, Lane was smart enough to not be the guy after the guy. So you have Coach Kalen DeBoer come in, and you see what Coach Kalen DeBoer can come and do within like a 3 to 5 year window, whatever it's going to be, and maybe he's the guy. And maybe that's it. Maybe Alabama gets back on track this year, and that's it. Or, maybe Alabama football and Greg Byrne has to make some difficult decisions within this 3-year span, and they see where Lane Kiffin is at, because Lane Kiffin, I'll tell you what, he has definitely outgrown Ole Miss. He just tweeted today, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, about kind of growth and like outgrowing, places. I don't know if that was anywhere related to him where he's at like as a person, but he's outgrown Ole Miss. He's not going to win a national championship at Ole Miss. He's going to win 10 games. He's going to be difficult to deal with, but he's not going to win. He's bigger. He's bigger than the brand at Ole Miss. So I think like far out in the future that Lane Kiffin will be the head football coach. I think that Lane Kiffin will be the head football coach. I think that Jeremy Pruitt will come back to Alabama in some capacity. I really do. I honestly think that Jeremy Pruitt will come back at some point. My wish list, yeah, and Scott Cochran comes back too. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I could totally see. No, Zeus, I'm not giving up on Kalen. I'm just saying like the far out. It just seems like I don't know when this could be. I mean, Lane Kiffin, how old is he? He's young. He's like 42 or 43. I'm saying like in 10 years or something like that. I think eventually Lane Kiffin will come back to Alabama. No, I don't know what Pete Golding will do. How crazy would that be if Lane Kiffin and Pete Golding stay together and then Pete Golding comes back? No one has ever been. Has there? Let me ask you this. You've been here longer than me. Has there ever been an assistant that Alabama fans wanted gone more than Pete Golding? From what I've seen, from covering the team now for 8 years, it was Pete Golding that people wanted fired the most, and now by far the second most is Nick Sheridan. The coaches that people want back, number one is Pruitt. Not so much Lane Kiffin. I think they understand like that he's coaching somewhere else. Bo Davis, Scott Cochran, and then I don't know who else. But it seems that like there was nobody else like in the world that would wanted to get fired more than Pete Golding. But can you imagine being the defensive coordinator, right? Following Kirby Smart and Jeremy Pruitt? I mean, that's almost just as hard as being, replacing Coach Saban. I can't believe that. I mean, I still credit Coach Kalen DeBoer for being able to take over this job. Oh my goodness. Every single thing. Can you imagine every single thing that you did being compared to Coach Saban? Coach Saban's like the best at every single thing. It'd be terrible. Every single thing. Coach Saban's like good at golf. He's good on TV. He's good at coaching. He's funny, right? He has like everything's like everything that he does is awesome. Even his commercials are hilarious. Those commercials are absolutely great. Like they're so funny. I'd always see Coach Saban when I was a member at North River. I'm not a member right now at the yacht club up here. I'd always see him out on the golf course. And so you could get a tee time. I think the earliest you can get a tee time is at 8 a.m. Sometimes I think in the summertime they would open them to like 7:40 when it was like, when you had a lot of sunlight. I would grab an early tee time. But Coach Saban, he was playing before the tee times. So they would allow him to get out there so he could play and then get the hell out of there. No, coach isn't terrible at golf. He's like I guess it's all relative, but I think coach is like a 8 handicap. I know this a couple times because I played with the old SID a couple times. So like Saban's right-hand man, remember him? Yeah, his name's Josh Maxson. So I played with him just a few times. And when we would play, I would never like this guy was so guarded at the university, but he was like, super nice when we played. And we didn't talk about the football team or anything like that. We literally just played. And the couple times that I played with him, I was like on fire. It was crazy. I was making like 12-foot putts. It was crazy. But I never played with Saban. Daniel Adams saying that Ryan Day is going to get fired? No, I don't think so. I would be shocked if Notre Dame wins this game. I'm not going to feel like, upset either way. I think it's impressive that Marcus Freeman has these guys here already in 3 seasons. That may be something to think about, with Coach Kalen DeBoer. Imagine like Marcus Freeman. I think someone look this up. I think Marcus Freeman, his first 3 games, I think he lost the first 3 games of his career, like at Notre Dame. And that was 3 seasons. We might have to go to our stats category to look that up, but I think it was something like that. It's amazing to me too that now to be able to win a championship, you had to play 16 games? PK, what's up, man? Kyle even knows Ohio State's going back to back. Ohio State, the thing about Ohio State is they're playing like the team we thought they were going to be. The loss against Michigan, I mean, they always lose to Michigan. But that was the perfect punch in the mouth that they needed to get back on track, right? They got some reverse rat poison. You're not good. Your coach needs to be fired. You don't have the players, right? All that stuff happened at the perfect time because they were still going to make the playoffs, still host a playoff game, and still have a good path to make the championship. Ohio State was favored to be that team this year. I guess I had no look. I knew that Jeremiah Smith would be good. I didn't know he'd be like this good. That's unbelievable. That wide receiver. Oh my! To think about. No, I got you, PK. It's all good. To think about this class or this past year, we had Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith. Jeez. See you, Chris. Have a good rest of your Sunday, man. Enjoy the NFL games. Gene Stallings lost his first 3 games. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I saw Coach Stallings just had something recently here at the Bama Theater. Callie Kane is saying, did you know Downs was good, Kyle? Caleb Downs, yes. Yeah. Well, so rewind to when Caleb Downs got here. He was like going to be the guy, right? 5-star guy coming in. But when Coach Saban was talking about Caleb Downs, he talked about his maturity and him being able to have a next play mentality, right? You get burnt, next play mentality. But yeah, no. Like Coach Saban set the tone right away on Caleb Downs, 100%. Thoughts on Mike Shula being the OC at South Carolina? South Carolina's got a lot of good things going on right now. I don't know if Shula being the OC is one of them or not, but Lenora Sellers is, that guy is really talented. They just made a move to get Justin Okoronkwo. They're making moves. They're a good team. They're going to look. I think Alabama will beat South Carolina. I think it's going to be a very challenging game to play in Columbia. That's going to be the game that they circle in terms of like where their program is at. That's gonna be a tough game. That would be like almost a playoff during the season because the SEC you're only going to get what 2-3 teams in. Yeah, Daniel, 100%, man. Like Caleb was that guy when he got here. Joseph saying Caleb Downs leaving was the biggest slap to the face. That one hurt. I don't know if there'll be a transfer in the future, that'll hurt like that one did because he was that guy that we really, put everything into, but also we understood how good he was, right? Like we understand how good Ryan Williams, it would basically be like kind of that equivalent. I think if Ryan Williams would transfer to be bigger just because he's from here. But yeah, like in the beginning of the transfer portal era, yeah, Caleb Downs leaving was monumental, 100%. That hurt. But now we'll be more, callous towards that. It won't hurt as bad. And if you think about it, if you look back to all of Alabama's transfers that left, the one guy that would have impacted Alabama's team, Jalen Mbakwe, they fought to keep him. I don't know if that means they paid him or if they let him, just play offense or defense. I have no idea. But Alabama made adjustments to keep him. I think they tried to keep Justin Okoronkwo too. Daniel, I think why Caleb Downs went to Ohio State is I think he got absolutely paid there too. Who knows how much he got paid, but Ohio State, used a lot of their money to retain their players, kind of like Alabama's doing right now, but to also go out and get like a 5-star transfer in Caleb Downs. So no, I'll be around today. If anything pops up, I'll come on here. I like to go live. I like to, chat with you guys. All feedback is welcomed. So appreciate you guys joining me on this Sunday show. I hope you're having a restful day. If you can chill and you can rest on a Sunday, all blessings to you. If you went to church, pray for us, right? Be good. You got some spirituality. Nothing wrong with spirituality at all, right? Stay connected. I appreciate you guys so much. And thanks for rocking with me. Also available iTunes, Spotify. And honestly, I hope you have an amazing week. I know it'll be cold out there, but power through it. Stay focused. Be a good person. And you can catch me Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys very much. Have a restful Sunday. Call your mom, call your dad, tell them I said what's up. Stay warm. Cover those pipes. Yo, and if you're in New Orleans, please check in with us on Tuesday. I saw New Orleans is about to get like 8 inches of snow. Yo, the Big Easy. They be freaking out. All right. Love you guys. Enjoy your NFL. Eat some wings. Throw something on the grill. And be sure to chill. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. See you guys.